Four simple ingredients. You've got brown sugar. We'd recommend that you use brown sugar instead of white sugar, just that there's an extra little bit of molasses in the brown sugar, and that will help with the cream towards the end, trying to make the cream flow. Next up is our coffee. So any type of coffee will do, whether it's percolated or filtered or instant, or whether it's caffeinated or decaffeinated, any type of coffee will do, but it has to be strong and black. So strong black coffee is the key there. Next up is our Jameson Irish whiskey. No, it's not just that you're in the Jameson distillery today that I'm recommending Jameson, but generally everyone outside this building, outside these walls, and even outside Ireland would recommend that you use Jameson Irish whiskey for your Irish coffee. Just that it's triple distilled, it's incredibly smooth, so it really blends in with the taste of the coffee. You don't get an overriding taste of the whiskey, or would say like with a Scotch that you might get a smoky taste through it. It just blends in well with the other ingredients. And finally, we've got our cream. So in the shaker there, I've got some single cream or pouring cream, but I have it only half whipped. I don't have it thick like you have in your dessert or anything like that, but not watery like it does come out of the container. Just half whipped so that it's just starting to thicken, but that it can still pour. Right, so we'll start. So in a stemmed glass, we put in our spoon and we're going to heat the glass. So we're heating the glass. This will just keep your coffee warmer for that little bit longer. We're putting the spoon in there so that the glass won't crack in case you have a thin glass, and it'll also get the glass ready for when you're putting your coffee in. No, so 2 spoons of brown sugar. So even if you don't take sugar in your tea or your coffee at home, we'd recommend that you put it into your Irish coffee. Now it's a great after dinner drink, something to sit down and relax with. So you can sweeten it up, no problem. It's not like you're having 10 a day or anything, I hope. So with our black coffee, we just go slightly over halfway. And we give it a good stir here. Now again, this is where the brown sugar comes in handy. The brown sugar will dissolve a lot quicker than the white sugar will, so you're not standing there for ages getting your coffee going cold. Now when we're done stirring with the sugar, we won't be stirring the drink anymore. When the cream goes on at the end, we suggest that you drink it through the cream, that you wouldn't use a straw or you wouldn't stir it like you would with a latte or anything. That you just sip the hot coffee through the cool cream. Now so far we've made a pretty good coffee, but we want an Irish coffee, so we'll get our Irish out. So we'll get our Jameson. So in Ireland, a typical pub measure is 35.5 millilitres. In England, it's typically 20 millilitres. In the States, it's typically around 30. So in Ireland, you're getting a bit more value for your money. But with the thing is, that's a standard pub measure. A lot of people don't have pub measures at home, so we'll just do a free pour, like you would. So here we go. So that's what we call a home pour. So that's about a 50 milliliter measure. No, you need a pretty big bottle if you're doing that to all your friends, though. That's the only catch. No. So with our cream, again, as I was saying, I've shaken it just enough that it's starting to thicken, but not too thick to pour. So you want to kind of have it like a consistency like that. Okay. No, so here's the trick. Slowly, nice and slowly, over the back of the spoon, we'll have the spoon nice and low towards the coffee, but over the back of the spoon, we'll slowly pour the cream. The cream will hit the hot spoon and just fan out, and it'll gently balance on top of the coffee, potentially. Now, if the cream doesn't float, it will float here, I hope. But if the cream doesn't float at home, don't worry about it. If the cream does sink, it'll just run down through the bottom. It won't look great, but it should still taste something similar. And again, you've got half a gallon of whiskey already inside there, so you don't need to throw it out. No, so over the back of the spoon, nice and slowly. Again, it's a special coffee, so you can take special care. That's it. So yeah, nice and slowly over the back of the spoon. Now at this stage you can do all the tricks you want. You can, bring your cream up or down or throw it over your shoulder, whatever. But you need to keep the spoon nice and low to the coffee at all times. So just because it's floating now doesn't mean it's going to stay floating. So just nice and easily, slowly pour your way up. We'll stop just short of the brim. We don't want it to overflow because the cream down the side of the glass gets quite messy. Now guys, so there we have an Irish coffee. So I think your tour is going to be starting in the next 5 or 10 minutes. The tour starts with about a 10-minute film. So if you'd like to get an Irish coffee, you can bring it into the auditorium with you and watch it in there. We generally sell these for $4.95, but this one can be given out for free. So the first person will give me a big round of applause. Right.
The story of Ireland's most famous whisky begins with John Jameson's arrival in Dublin in the late 18th century. He came in search of fame and fortune.
Because he took the care of engraving 3 foot barley on the side of the wood. So the water wheel itself is made of cast iron and it has a diameter of 22 feet, which is 6.6 meters. So we'll continue now inside the bin building and you'll be able to see the inner works of the water wheel. So follow me inside. So the fires under the still were lit, the washing side began to boil, and then the very first vapors that rose were the alcohol vapors. And they left the still through the pipe and were transferred to a condenser. We have the condenser outside, you'll be able to see it in a minute. It is a huge vessel which contained icy cold water. So that when the alcohol vapors passed through the pipes inside the condenser, they would cool down and convert back into liquid.
Yeah, turn it on, yeah. Yes. Record a sound. Do it again.
And this loss of liquid is due to 2 main reasons. One is the absorption of the liquid into the wood, and the other one is the evaporation process. And we call the evaporation process also the angel's share, because the angels in heaven, they get to drink it. So you get it, they are happy angels. So this is the 12-year-old whiskey. You can see how deeper in color it is after 12 years, and there is a further loss of liquid. And now finally here we have the 18-year-old whiskey. So you can see how richer and fuller in color it has become after 18 years. And after all these years we have a loss of up to 35% of the liquid. So from this display you can see why an 18-year-old is more expensive. Because not only it's been lying here for 18 years, but at the end there is less whiskey for sale as well. So I turn them all on and you can see from the beginning how it's been lying here untouched and nothing else has been added to it, but only with time it matures. So for this whiskey, he picks what he considers to be the finest distillates. It has a signature of approval down here, Barry Crockett, and each bottle is numbered. So it's very much a collector's item. And you find this one in the shop for €129. And it is considered the very best among the Irish whiskies. So that's the Middleton Very Rare. And it comes in this wooden box over here as a certificate. So we will now go to the Jameson bar. I told you that.
Case.